Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on your time frame, your time zone. We are Dr. Leo Borne and Tiago Christoni, and we are here to present to you our paper that's called Smartphone Applications for Music Theory and Ear Training, Analyzing Harmony and Chords Construction. Let's share our screen. There it goes. And Tiago, you may go.
Uh, the usage of smartphone apps has increased in the last decade for many purposes, such as leisure, education, arts, music. Since these apps offer a wide variety of multimedia functionalities, some developers started to create apps aiming music instruction, especially on music theory and ear training, as well as some digital or virtual instruments, like virtual piano or guitar. Because of this phenomenon, we began to have a special interest on how the usage of these apps might improve traditional music classes, and we designed a study to comprehend it better. As our teacher practices are in music theory and ear training classes, we focus on the smartphone apps that address these subjects. As a result of our endeavors in this paper present partial results of a study we conducted, which aimed to analyze a smartphone application for the study of music theory and ear training by comparing it with a traditional ear training method. In this paper, we focus on the app features of tonal harmony and chords construction. In order to achieve our objective, we conducted a qualitative study by the means of a case study, comparing an app with a traditional ear training method. The case unit was the app The Ear Gym, TAG, and the Ear Training Auditory Training Method for Musicians, BK, the Benward and Kolosick. The TEG was chosen after a careful selection in the Google Play Store, a marketplace for Android system. Filling out the search guide with the terms ear training and oral skills. As for the BK method, it was chosen because it was the traditional method used on our ear training practices. Therefore, we have a deeper understanding of its structure and didactics. The BK method is basically focused on musical practice, presenting a large number of exercises. In addition, we can say that it is aimed at practical study with an emphasis on musical parameters of pitch and rhythm. Because of its practical nature, we understand that the theoretical aspects of music theory must be addressed by the teacher, with or without the support of other materials. More details on the structure of the method will be given as they appear in the results. With both TEG and BK in hand, we filled out tables with their main features, such as the usage of sound materials, musical content, content organization, exercise, and etc. After that, we started to compare one with the other, looking for trends and particularities of both. All this process, app selection, table filling, and comparison, took place between December 2029 and 2020.
Thank you, Tiago. From here, we will show some results for you, and we'll divide these results in two pieces, chord construction and harmony. Well, about chords construction, one of the musical elements within your training is the formation and auditory recognition of chords. The study of musical chords using the TEG, as you may see in the screen, takes places in six ways. The first is the chord identification, as shown in the figure 1. in which the student must hear and identify which chord was played and its quality, if it was major, minor, augmented, or diminished. In this option, it is possible to choose between piano or guitar tones. The second image you can see is the option chord reading, in which the student must identify by reading the chords that are presented on the staff. The third way of studying chords is the chord construction, where the student must theoretically build the chords on the staff. The fourth is the chord singing, figure 4, in which the student must sing the notes that constitutes the chord by singing it as an arpeggio. The fifth option is chord inversion, where the student must listen and identify the chord inversions by listening and by reading. The application also has a sixth option, which is chord comparison, in which the student must identify whether two chords are in the same position or not. In addition, TEG makes possible to customize some features for the study of chords. You can choose between melodic and harmonic constructions or presentations, only melodic, only harmonic. When we tested the app, we observed that the chord singing option is quite accurate on recognizing pitches. Therefore, small tunings or A-tunings are soon considered as wrong answers. All other exercises options worked perfectly well, and the customization features may be considered a way of making the tasks more or less difficult, according to previous student experience. An insightful note on that is that we, when observing our music theory students, found out that melodic instrument students almost naturally tend to prefer melodic customization, while the harmonic students, instrument ones, seek harmonic relations more often. Now that we have shown a bit of the TEG, let's get to know the BK method a little better. The BK, as you may see in this figure 7, the BK method, you can see that the exercises are in recognizing the pitch, recognizing the triad, and recognizing the chord by hearing it, and positioning it as major or minor and its inversion. You can also you have also the option to identify the tasks to identify and classify chords, and some of them are requiring additionally that chords should be assembled in the sheet music. And this is a feature that is similar to TEG and the chord reading task on TEG. This is the task that I just told about. You can also, it should be noticed that the BK presents other exercises where the chord is identified and classified, requiring corrections of the accidents of the notes presented in the score, so that they match the identification of the chords as we see in the figure 9. In figure 10, we can see some exercises in which chords need to be listened to, and they are structured in triads of 4 voice parts. The exercise consists of playing 2 chords, and then the student must listen to the one pitch that is incorrect in relation to what's written. The student also must identify in which chord has the error, if it is the first chord or the second one, and in which voice contains the error, putting on S for soprano, C to alto, T to tenor, and B to bass. BK method also presents the auditory recognition of chords with seventh. So you can have a recognition of a major chord with major seventh, a minor chord with a minor seventh, and so on. These exercises presented on the figure 7 to 10 are also reproduced in its seventh version. Now, by comparing the TEG and the BK, it becomes evident that they present similarities and differences in the study of chords, and both may be considered as complementary. Since BK brings the possibility of studying chords in a structured format to four voices, also presenting various exercises to identify errors, while the TEG is more flexible and have the possibility of feedbacking right away. However, in TEG, it is possible to study the chord singing, in which the student must sing the notes of a certain chord, which is not possible through BK method. In addition, TEG features more inversion identification exercises. Now let's focus on the harmony section. Let's get back to the TEG. The study of music analysis is understood in this app as the study of the music in a complex way. It may include some harmonic and melodic analysis as well its structures. In the TEG app, when you talk about analysis, the app follows a North American line that the analysis would only check the function of the chords within the music, what we call here harmony. In other words, harmony and chords constructions are linked. However, harmony has to do with chords placement within a given tonal context. Thus, the study of harmony in TEG, as seen in the figure 11, is presented in these four sections. You can see chords identification within a given key, analysis within a given key, progression, chords progression and cadences, and finally cadences. In the figure 12, we can see the chords progression, the chords identification within a given key and context. In addition, in TEG, it is possible to make the following. Well, let's see a little bit more of the chords progression, inversion within a given key, the chords progression, and the cadences. You may have to pick if the cadence is perfect, imperfect, plagal, etc. In the TEG, it is possible to make the following customizations of the task harmony. You can select harmonic playing or only harmonic or melodic and harmonic playing in the chord identification and analysis. In the task chord identification, analysis, and chord progression, you can choose between the following inversion options. No inversion, first inversion, second inversion, or third inversion. You can also mix and match these up. Another possibility found is that in the option chords identification, chords progression, and cadences, it is possible to choose between piano or guitar tones. Lastly, in the study option chords progression in the figure 14, as you can see here, students can choose the amount of times that they want to practice, have the options from 4 to 8. On the other hand, the BK method has exercises of recognizing the scale degrees, and it consists of listening to what is played, and this playing can be by the means of a CD or the teacher, identifying the scale degrees that are related to the established scale and writing them down in the correct spaces, as we can see in the example in the figure 16. Regarding to the cadence studies, in this example, the BK chapter presents exercise of cadence recognition approaching 5 types of cadences: authentic perfect, authentic imperfect, semi-cadence, plagal, and deceptive. These exercises consist of listen to and write them down in the type of cadence. In the image 17, it is an exercise that it is related to chord degrees recognition. And in this one, the student may write down, in addition to the Roman numbers corresponding to the degrees of the scale, the pitches of that in the music sheet. In the same exercise, it is possible to verify an example for recognizing chords within the musical literature. and this type of exercise was not found in the TEG application. Given the above, when comparing TEG and BK, we find that they present both similar and different exercises and tasks. The similar ones are those of recognizing chord degrees orally. BK brings a more holistic view of the progress to be achieved by the student, and chapter by chapter, the method builds on the recognition of the degrees that the chords play in a given key. BK also brings exercises that contextualize what's being learned and musical pieces drawn for the musical repertoire. In a similar way, as in this chord section, the TEG shows a variety of customization that what may improve and give other difficulties to the students, even though the exercises are discontextualized from the musical repertoire. Let's go to some concluding thoughts.
Returning to the main objective, to analyze a smartphone application for the study of ear training by comparing it with a traditional ear training method, we can say that when we think about smartphone apps, usually we think about something that is technological and new, that may enhance many aspects of our lives, including to learn music theory and ear training. With this, it's evident that the apps help in the learning and teaching of ear training, bringing important elements, technological resources that facilitate the understanding of the student and the exemplification of the teacher, looking for a more effective educational process. Regarding the study of chords, the BK shows advantages when exercising 70th chords recognition, in addition to also presenting triads and 70th chords structured in four-part voices. On a complementary way, the use of the TEG app allows a greater variety of chord inversion identification, in addition to the study of chord singing, which is not carried out in BK. As for the study of harmony, the BK shows a wider variety of exercise, which leads students to make progress step by step, following the progressive didactics of the method. Some of its key features are the scale degrees recognition and the exemplification with the classic repertoire. The TEG is more limited in the quantity and variety of exercise for this purpose, but once again it can be personalized to address specific content within its possibilities. To sum up, the analysis of these educational tools in music theory and ear training has a fundamental importance to guide teachers as to the possibilities and limitations of these resources. As we have showed, method and app address the content both in similar and in different ways. So a music teacher that is up to date with technological uses may find that the best practice is to apply both of them in his or her classes, helping students to choose those tools that must address to their pedagogical needs.
So that's all we had to share with you. We have here our contact, our email contact, if you want to get in touch. And thank you for watching. Thank you very much.
Thanks.